We're live. Alive? Live? That's a thing. Sure. Talking so that you possibly have audio coming from what is supposed to be a stream that's occurring, just to give you, noise.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool, fantastic. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to another episode of Mike's campaign of Sugoi Sauce, episode 13, I believe, if I did it right. I am your host, the Dungeon Master, Mike Irwin. With us, as always, Babbage Charles, aka the Gnome Chinker Jim, Finger Guns Jim over here. Our Furblog Druid, Hugh, Jeff, which I don't know what that means.
I think it's a Y
Peace?
for you.
Yes.
Oh, it's a Y. I'm slow. I'm not. Don't give me.
Mike's like, are you
I'm-
flashing gang sign? I can't even do it.
I'm like, did cryptocurrencies gain hand signals? I don't know. We have Canon and Stormblessed Zach, aka the High Elf Monk, with jazz hands. And
Jazz
finally,
hands,
of course,
finger guns.
yes, there we go. And finally, Blessed Robert, the Great Bellarmine, our knowledge cleric, aka the Deacon, very clearly invested and involved in.
He's looking at Discord.
Fair enough. I was hoping he would do some sort of hand signal as well, but that's fine. When we last had our Intrepid Heroes, thank you, Jeff. Intrepid Heroes? Yes. Intrepid Heroes. They were basically moving around. They basically go around town, having given the journal to Cognan, basically trying to determine what they were going to do next. The Mythal that was negating all the necrotic energies that also had apparently gotten wonky and was making all magic in the local area go crazy has apparently been canceled out by the removal of the sword that was placed in the old Iron Outpost. So our characters have basically been walking around talking to people, and as rewards,
just to confirm, that is fixes the wonky magic via the whole island. Or we don't know that yet?
We don't know.
Yeah, as far as you know, it's just here.
Okay.
I mean, Cognan, I think, hinted at the fact that there's the journal implies that there are multiple mythals, which would imply that there's multiple areas. So how they act, anybody's guess. So as a result of being successful with their rescuing of River, which is how they got the journal in the first place, and trading the sword, wasn't exactly given freely. Our compatriots have come back to town and are in the process of gaining basically rewards from the townsfolk as a means of saying thank you, in the form of either an enchanted weapon or an enchanted shield, a magical tattoo courtesy of Julie, Bright Mist, our red panda tattoo artist, aka, and also Honey Harvester. There we go. Mercury is the person that was giving everybody enchantments to their weapons, and then which nobody's really interacted with them yet, but Quail is the alchemist / potion maker, and each one of you basically got one of those things for free. I won't roleplay this out, but what they each also tell you is that if you can find mana crystals on the island and bring them back, one decent, 2-inch sized mana crystal can be used in any one of these places to get another thing. So, you can enchant another weapon or shield, you can get another tattoo, you can get another potion. Now, Julie will warn you that you can only max out at 3, any more than 3 tattoos, and things get, you can't, she refuses to do more than 3 tattoos on a body. So there are reasons. So basically, if you start gaining and acquiring little magical crystal things,
Can multiple enchantments be put on the same weapon?
no, you can only Mercury will only put one enchantment on one weapon at a time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the tattoos, however, you can have 3 in 3 different places. More than that, it gets dangerous. But yeah, each one of them either grind, basically they grind the mana stone down into the ability to either what they use to actually engrave the enchantment, or use to actually create the tattoo ink, or basically part of distilling is a potion. So in the event that you max out on enchantments and tattoos, you can just use them for potions. And who knows? Maybe you'll find special ones that allow Quail to make different potions. We'll see. And with that, I know. I mean, basically, I know Kanadin, you, and Bellarmine were all headed to Mercury to basically get your enchantments, which we basically just decided to do off game, or at least away from the screens. And Babbage was headed toward Teg with. Did we come up with a name for the bot?
Jim has, but Babbage timeline has not yet.
Got it. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so with that, I'm basically going to roll a d2. If it's a 1, we're going to Jim, and if it's a 2, we're going to the other group. We're going to Jim. All right, so for the purposes of this, we're going to move into... Let's see, actually, I'm going to grab... Just so everybody can see, I'm going to now move everybody. I know most of you are all of you see the Enchanter's house now, but we're going to move into the warehouse. Oh, although all of you probably can't see because it's dark in there, but here, just for the purposes of seeing the map, I'm going to throw you all in here. All right, so Babbage, well, actually, I'll say you're outside right now. So Babbage is actually the only one here, even though I know all your tokens are there. So Babbage, you are outside the warehouse at the moment.
Is the warehouse doors are closed?
Yes.
Does it sound like or appear as though anyone's inside?
From the windows, as you could see as you were walking up, there does seem to be like light moving around inside.
Oh, I will politely knock upon the door.
After a moment, you think you actually see some light like shining from underneath the door. Yes. Who is it?
Hello, it's Babbage.
Oh yes, and the door opens and Teg greets you and
Hello,
ushers you
Teg.
in. Oh yes. You were here for some possible spare equipment. Is that accurate?
Yeah, as I mentioned, Cognan was gracious enough to grant me access to his junk store in the basement, but I'd love to get a sense of what's available for use in terms of more suitable resources for my work.
So, as you walk in, and so you've got Teg.
Describe what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so you've got Teg next to you. She's got her like soccer ball sized glowing blue orb, which seems to be the only source of light because otherwise it's fairly dark. Like the windows are kind of musty and not well cleaned. There doesn't seem to be any other source of light, but otherwise you have just like shelves that are all roughly, I don't know, like 5 feet high. She actually has like holding like a footstool with her that she seems to, but like you see shelves basically just piled high all throughout the space, full of just different crates. Actually, hold on. I intentionally prepared for this. Where did I put it? Or did I? Crap, where did I put it? Stand by. Did I put it? Oh, maybe I put it with my NPCs. Yes. So you see crates. You see like some of the shelves have like just like strips of like 2x4s and lumber. You see one that's got like a pile of like iron rings. It looks like it's for barrels. There's what looks like one off in the distance. Actually, looks like it may have some marble stones. You see some other barrels, some dry food stores. There's one that's got like bolts of linen, scraps of clothes. She basically, so at this point, she starts just taking you around on a tour, explaining where stuff is. You see scraps of clothing, like I said.
I'm doing my best while paying attention to the tour to make mental note of like where things are in case I were ever to find myself in here without escort. I could like recall. So
okay,
I'm trying actively to memorize.
Got it. So if you choose to write this down or not, that's up to you. You see lots of lumber, iron rings, stones. I'll probably just let you. I'll just share this with you eventually to make this simpler. You see like one section that's got a bunch of like cutlery, tea sets, plates, pots, pans, different like a shelf of shelves. Oddly enough, in the corner there's actually jars of honey. as well as different like piles of, or I don't know what you'd call them, just piles of rope, I guess, but like looped and knotted.
Bundles.
Yeah, bundles. There we go. As well as one, as she gets over to, I mean, you kind of wander around. You don't go actually outside, but yeah, you see bundles of lumber here. She actually looks like she has, and then here in this shelves here, there's actually a bunch of what looks like various different pieces of glassware, but like different baubles, and it almost looks like she may have been like failed attempts at a drift globe, as well as just some other. There's almost like a whole shelf of glass type of glassware kind of stuff, and then finally she ends all that and she says, "I've already gathered everything that I'm willing to spare for you." And as she's going through all these things, you actually see her like going through like a inventory of like things and like checking off as she points. So she literally has it all in a book.
Okay.
And finally, she says, like, okay, I will give you, and don't write it. I wouldn't write this down until the end, but linens. She's got 14 different linen scraps, 3 different pieces of like 2x4s that look like they're like warped or have like knots in them she can't use. Spare nails, spare nuts and bolts, a bottle of wood glue. She gives you a handsaw, all totaling 5 gold pieces worth of equipment.
5 gold of carpentry and metal scrap.
Yes. She also happens to almost say, like in happenstance, she's got 10 dry rations for you if necessary. And she sort of like hands you like a basket with all that stuff.
She hands. So I have all these things.
Yes, because you'd already discussed that you wanted to borrow things, as I recall, with her.
Sure. Do they all fit in my haversack?
They should. I'd have to look at your haversack again more specifically, but I mean you can fit a 2x4 in there, I think.
Well, the size doesn't matter. It's about weight.
Yes, yeah, you can fit
As
it all
long
in
as
your
it
haversack.
fits through the opening, anything can fit in there.
Yeah, no, it all fits to the opening. You're fine. She actually kind of like looks. At first, she seems like puzzled by it. Like you just stick the 2x4 in and like another 2x4 in. Very
Yeah, like Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly. Like Mary Poppins. She's like, that is a particular package you have there. That is.
Oh,
What a
it's
convenient
very
way
handy.
of moving around.
It's handy to have.
So it's been a pleasure giving you my inventory. You must understand that no one is allowed in here unescorted. You understand?
Certainly understand that.
I take
I appreciate
very
it.
particular care of everything that I can use and spare, and I put out different rations. I make sure, blanking on all my NPCs' names. Dolan only gets 1 barrel of honey a month, for example, because Julie can only create so much at a time. You understand.
Sure. I totally understand. Completely.
Is there anything else that I can be of assistance with?
Well, I would venture, or my only real question is where you would suggest someone of my particular skill set, being a tinkerer, might acquire things that are not necessarily cataloged here in the warehouse.
Such as?
Well, where did all these things come from? Was it scavenged from out in the wilderness, fallen settlements, or was all of this created here within town?
Oh, most of it was either created here in town, leftover parts and pieces from when our airship crashed years and years ago, or scavenged from outlying settlements that are no longer safe.
Could you perhaps indicate to me, either on a map or with some information, the location of some of these types of settlements where I might myself go scavenging if I needed? Obviously, lumber is one thing, but I didn't see a smeltery to make new nuts and bolts and such.
Oh, those were all made by.
You've got a smithy, but I didn't really see an industrial-sized refinery.
No, no. Grimbeard tends to be very handy with his craft, and I tinker a little bit myself as well. As she like points
Where
to
does
the
he
baubles.
find the raw metal? I mean, is there a mine?
There is in fact a mine. You may or may not recall. Pulling out Harm's Way's map. We don't have access to it anymore. Not Harm's Way's map. My updated.
Outdated island map.
Yeah. Where the heck? I am.
You talking about the dig?
Yes.
Or the mana mine?
No, the dig.
Okay.
We have not been there we have not been there in years, as it's been overrun by either a combination of
What sort of raw
Lysolots and or mostly
what sort of raw metals were in the dig before you got overrun?
a little bit of iron, but mostly that. But the dig was mostly coal.
Coal and some iron. I see.
Yes.
If I needed some precious materials, does any of that exist on the island you're aware of?
Not that we have been able to gather while we're here. You may be able to ask Cognan if elsewhere on the island, perhaps, but no, not that I'm
Certainly,
aware
sir. All right. Well, I mean that's all very important information. Down the road, I may need more materials than you've provided for me, but I can do my own scavenging. Could I perhaps rent space here in the warehouse to store things that I find out and about?
She kind of takes that aback for a second. She goes, Would you expect me to be responsible for your items?"
Well, I would expect nothing less than the most responsible and meticulous cataloger this side of, the abyss.
I suppose. She kind of ponders that for a moment. And she makes her way to the back corner here. I suppose we can. I suppose we can fit you. We can fit. And she basically claims you can have a 6-foot length of 3 shelves where she's standing here.
Oh, that would be more than adequate. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the persuasion roll, but she's just happy to have just really. She just seems like she seems a little more animated than you've seen her before. She seems to just be happy with someone to talk to that's actually interested in cataloging.
Phenomenal. All right, this is very productive. I got some stuff. I have a place to put it. This is great. Well, it was absolutely a pleasure, Jake. I will leave you to your work. I know it can be distracting having folks poking around while you're trying to keep track of things, so I will leave you to it.
With that, she just kind of nods and then goes back to making sure everything's where it is.
Phenomenal. And I will take my leave.
Okay. So, do the rest of you still want to interact with Mercury, or you're all good that you have your enchantments?
We got our enchantments. It's I think
Okay.
that would pretty good.
So yeah, you are all at this point you're basically just out and about in town, and it is we'll say midday. Oh, Jim, I need that link of yours that you have to actually keep track of weather and calendars and stuff.
Oh, sure.
You can send it to me on. I mean, not this second, but I'm eventually going to be I realize I need to start tracking stuff. So with that, yeah, no, it's basically. We'll say it's been about a day since you all came back from town. You all slept in your respective places. So it's been roughly 24 hours. So it's the morning again. You've all basically just come back from. I'm going to put you all in front of Mercury because.
If no one else was doing anything, I had one more thing I wanted to chit chat about.
So I'm okay. I will say that basically you're all in front of Mercury's because she's handing you back all of your enchantments because it took her 24 hours and having to borrow everything. But what did you want to do?
I was gonna go talk to Julie for a sec.
Okay. Jeff, is there anything specific you want to do in town before we go back to Jim? Mr. Sylvia.
I was curious if there was any place of worship or blessing.
There is a small shrine that was, and I realized I probably should have pointed this out sooner, but basically near Gentle Hymns Manor up to the north, where I'm pinging on the map here near 2, there's a small shrine to basically one of the, I don't have a pantheon in this world yet, but basically a god of, we'll say a goddess of good fortune. Who basically doubles as a goddess of good fortune and music. Is what you'll find here. And it's a lady who's playing. And it's a pantheon you're familiar with. You would have seen before. It's basically the depiction of an angelic woman playing a lute.
not sure if Dad's camera's frozen or not. It looks like it might be.
Just
The fact
very,
that he's not refuting it tells me that
very
he's
intensely
disconnected
looking.
from Discord.
That's sad.
Okay.
Zach, is there anything specific you wanted to do?
No, nothing specific in town. I think
Okay.
that I would probably be urging everybody to head back to Cognan Tower to get our mission rolling, because I am eager to move on.
Fair enough. And maybe he's gone.
Yeah,
maybe
he's
not.
finally DC'd. Looks like he's
Okay.
reconnecting.
Hooray. Okay, you're anxious to just get things moving. Okay, got it. All right. Well, while he's reconnecting, you wanted to talk to Julie
I
there,
did.
Babbage?
I did.
Okay. I'll give Bellarmine another like 10 seconds. Zach, do you know if you've got a hard stop at what, like 10:30? You said.
Yeah, 10:30, 10:45, pushing it. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
please. Sorry.
All good. Well, we started a little earlier than usual, but recently, which has been nice.
Yeah, we were all kind of ready to go.
No, he's screwing up my. Oh no, we're back. All right, like he's screwing up my stream if he's not there.
Alright, he's coming.
Yes, he's coming back.
He's doing his best.
Yes. Okay. Did you want to? Are you trying to just find Julie out in town? Or do you want to visit her in her house? What are you trying to do?
Wherever she is. I
Okay.
assume she's in her shop.
Yes. All right. He's just, yeah. I'm assuming he's moving around his token to let him know. Let us know he is in fact still in roll 20 at
Yeah,
least.
I'm
Okay.
sure, but we'll wait. Or we'll see.
All right, we're gonna move. You find her at home, so just for everybody's awareness, we're gonna move everybody to the tattoo parlor, where the last time we were all here, chaos ensued. Okay.
I think I hear Dad. Maybe not.
Bellarmine? No, maybe yes. Oh well. And my stream's kind of wonky at the moment. That's okay.
Yeah, until he's in video, it's not going to be in the right spots.
Yeah, actually,
It's a weird, subtle thing of Discord. It's not worth fixing because when he joins, it's going to mess up again.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, stream. All right, so you are. Okay, so yeah, you.
Yep.
So you come in.
Knock,
Yep.
knock. Julie.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Babbage, sir. Yes, come on in. It was a pleasure
Hi.
providing you with your tattoo. Come back in.
Well, thank you. It was much less painful than I anticipated initially.
I am
One
very.
of the things
I have very, very gentle hands.
One of the things I regret to have asked while I was sitting in the chair is obviously they're effective when you tattoo human skin or person's skin, but could the magical effects of a tattoo be inscribed on an inanimate object, for example?
No, unfortunately not. The way that the tattoo magics work is it does have to be an organic component of sorts.
Well,
So
organic is certainly makes sense, but wood is organic.
I've never seen a tattoo artist that does something. I realize I'm not in my accent. But just to make things simple. I've never been able to do tattoos onto bark or any sort of plant because it needs to be sort of embedded underneath the skin. But no, I've never seen or heard of an instance where it can be done on anything besides a person or a living animal.
Well, now that brings up an interesting question. What about something like an animal hide, like leather?
Living. It's got to be living.
Why is that?
The magics interact with your. The DM is thinking. Give me a moment. The magics have the weave that is instilled in you as part of the tattoo interacts with your nervous system as a way of being able to make it to basically when it activates. It has to have basically it's sort of using you as its energy source to be able to provide some of the magic that comes with the tattoo.
So it almost is like it has to have electrical conductivity with your own central nervous system, you're saying?
Yes.
But electricity can be conducted through metal. So if I were wielding a thing that were tattooed, one would assume that electrical current could pass through and interact with my nervous system that way.
I've yet to be able to find a way that I can instill magical ink into an item. If you want to do that, that is exactly what you go to Mercury for.
Well, I believe with your skill as a tattoo artist and my technical know-how in all things inanimate, we can find a way to make this work.
Ah, Mr. Bellarmine! What brings you to my humble establishment? Or do you actually want to be there, Mr. Deacon?
I think he's frozen again. In the same position.
Tag nabbit. He's just moving around.
He's having some bandwidth issues.
I wonder if the snow's got anything to do with it. I can't imagine it would. Okay, so we can banter back and forth. The DM's not going to let you assign tattoos to things beyond skin.
Initially. We'll find a way.
Fair enough. Okay. Oh.
Alright, well, that was all I really wanted to talk about.
Okay. Very good. I'm curious what
I see you, Dad. You're moving. Can you talk? Hello? You're muted, but I see you.
No, I'm not muted.
We can hear you. No, we're good. We're good.
You moved your mouth without speaking. I thought you were muted.
So, Blessed Bellarmine, you are in front of this shrine that you had asked about before.
Yeah, I'm everything's all messed up here. Hang on.
Okay. Fair enough.
Excuse me.
The question was, can I get in there?
It's like an outdoor shrine. So like it's literally like a statue of a goddess with a lute with wings. That's like under a cover, so it's exposed to the elements. It's not like you go inside something.
All right, so there are no other shrines in the encampment
that you've found. Not that you found, no.
And this one doesn't seem to be particularly useful.
I mean, what are you
trying? Define use.
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
Well,
and he's frozen.
Man, I really want to know what's going through his head right now.
I really want to know what he's trying to do, and he keeps freezing the moment he tries to say what he's trying to do.
The joys of technology, everybody. Okay. Jeff, I just want to check in with you one more time since we haven't focused on you at all yet. Is there anything? There's nothing else you wanted to do in town, right? You're happy. Use good being you. All right. I'm curious what that actually entails. Okay.
Ready to read the stars and rescue the planet.
Nice.
So wait, so we got our tattoos while they were working on the enchantment, and then we slept and we collected them the next day?
Yeah, like you handed all your tattoos to Mercury. She worked on them through 24 hours. You just basically just got them back this morning. You were all tattooed yesterday. Everybody was sort of under. You all took turns, of course. She's the only person that can work it, but it was about 2 hours per tattoo. Which I have to remember. Like, Zach, where is your tattoo? He's gone again.
Oh, my chest.
Very good. Right. So Canadians.
I got mine in wherever place Canadian got his, because I haven't ever had a tattoo before, so I just assumed that's where it should go.
You, where did you put yours?
I didn't want to look ignorant.
Yeah, because none of you. This is something like her skill is extraordinarily rare. Like none of you. Maybe Babbage had heard of it before, but maybe you've heard of it, but none of you had actually been exposed to it before this. She is unique in that regard. You, where did you have your skin inked?
Aren't you furry?
Well, so she.
Hey, Dad. Welcome back.
You got a shave spot on him.
I'm very furry.
Yes. So yeah, you. Where did you have your where did you get your tattoo?
Would that mean having to shave off fur to get the tattoo?
No, she knows how to work with it. I mean, she shows you she shows you her own tattoos like under her red panda fur. Like, you're good.
Okay.
Face tattoo. Face tattoo.
I like it right here.
Left.
Inside left forearm.
Inside left forearm. Okay.
Where's yours, Dad?
He's back. Yeah.
My good God.
That's the same. I don't think he's moved. Like it just.
No,
sort
he
of
did. He came back,
and
then he froze again. But he keeps freezing in the exact same position.
I wonder why he's having. Yeah, it's curious. Come on, IT man. Why is his internet not working?
Yeah, you might need to kick the router.
I just bought a new modem. I'm home.
Ooh.
I got gigabit now.
I have gigabit down, but I only have 40 up.
Yeah. Same.
Well, I don't want to. I don't know, this is the weird thing about like if we were all playing D&D in person, this is not a thing that could happen. Someone would just
Right.
continuously get up and leave the table. So it's just like,
I mean,
what?
Or somebody just goes like this
maybe
every once in a while.
maybe a few hours in after like 12 cans of Sprite and 2 months of pizza.
You just have to pee. Yes, that's fair. But you're 12 hours in at that point. Good times. Okay, so all right. Well, for the sake of everybody else, whenever he gets here, we're gonna find out what he wants to do with that shrine. But until then, it's all right. So, Zach, you wanted to go back to Cognan's, right?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about the remnants of our mission here, or well, the remaining portion of our mission.
Okay. What in your mind? What does that mean?
Okay, so I would go up to Cognan and say, "Oh yeah, are we in there yet, or no?" What do you think?
Let's see.
Your
I'm
call on
going
that
to.
I mean, honestly, I would just walk over if I was.
So we'll say
waiting
we'll say for argument's sake that you've all. We'll say Bellarmine's at the shrine doing whatever it is that he's going to eventually inform us of. Are you following Canadan into Cognan's tower?
I want to steal it.
Yeah.
All right. Babbage, are you headed back there as well, I imagine?
Yes, after Julie and everything else is done, I would go to Cognan, because the first thing I want to ask him is about the mine and town scavenging, and if he can outline any sort of, like, there may be settlements over here.
Okay.
Because, like, we have an overarching grand task of recovering the other mythals and artifacts, but in the short term, like, that could take forever. That could take years. We don't know. In the short term, I just want to, like, bolster and, grind out some XP.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's kind of.
all right. So the three of you are now in Cognan's tower. You walk in. Bellarmine is not there. We'll say he's, I'm assuming, praying, or I don't know. For all I know, he's trying to make another shrine, which I would not put past him.
Gonna deface that one with his own deity's face.
Yeah, I mean, really, I never know with that man. So yeah, you walk in and Cognan. It's about, we'll say, mid-morning at this point. I'm gonna assume you all had breakfast in your respective places. Babbage, I'm assuming, or I'm assuming, made another salad bowl in here. So he's reconnecting. We'll find out what happens.
Let's try.
It's basically a cliffhanger of like what's going to happen with the shrine. It's going to be so anticlimactic. All right, so Cognan is in. So you walk in. All three of you walk in together, followed by the Dingbot, and Cognan and River are both basically in there doing their own little mini projects. It looks like. Cognan has like his notes open. He's got the journal out. He actually looks like he's just transcribing the journal into a different notebook that you haven't seen before. As he's like spread a bunch of stuff on the table. And River actually looks like she's doing a small amount of cooking on her own, but it seems like the items that she has look surprisingly normal. Like she looks like she's actually cooking a stew with real vegetables and, yeah. So that's what. Yeah, River's working on a stew. Cognan's taking notes. And scene.
So I would walk in like I own the place. Walk right up to Cognan, kind of across the table, and put my down. Okay. Now,
Hello.
we've rested. We have our enchanted weapons. We have our tattoos. We're ready to get moving. Now, how many mythals are there now?
Oh, morning? Yes. Well, based on the journal that we've all read together, we've all taken time to read, it's possible I would surmise that we've had there's the one in the Iron Outpost you already found, one in Deadwatch, the one in, I believe there's one in Strongmont that they may have left behind, and a third one, I'm not sure where, up to the north. So there's definitely one in Deadwatch, based on the notes from the journal. And it would stand to reason that there was one in Strongmont they left before they left, and the one in either, I don't know Ella made it to Vineholm, or she would have actually made it to the mana mine itself to create another mythal up north of the Rushlands. And I am looking at the map of the island, in case anybody isn't already, because I'm constantly referencing that.
Would he have it out on the table?
I mean, you all have a copy that was given to you, but yes.
Not the outdated one, right?
Yeah, outdated island map, because
Okay.
that map implies that you're still on the water.
Yeah. Okay.
And High Lake Village
Yep.
isn't a smoking ruin.
Perfect. So we got the one in Iron Outpost.
Yes.
There's one down in Deadwatch.
Yep.
One over in Strongmont.
Yep.
And one in the Mana Mine, as far as we can tell.
Well,
The
that's,
Mana Mine one is
that,
questionable.
yeah, because Ella made it sound like that was the ultimate goal, but a lot of the pages toward the end of the journal are ripped out at that point. So, like, after they left Deadwatch, you're not really sure what happened to them. It's kind of left vague.
Okay. Very well. So,
Or no, I'm sorry.
if we were to move...
You know they made it to the Iron Outpost, but we can see you,
Yeah.
Deacon. Your hand is moving.
But you can't hear me.
We can.
I can hear you right
You
now.
can't hear you now.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna pause
Wait,
on.
what do you want to do with the
Yeah, what do you want to do with the shrine?
Yeah.
before we lose you again?
I'm done with that.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so in that case, everybody else has moved into Cognan's tower. I'm assuming you want to follow there, Deacon Sylvia. Yes, cool. Okay. I mean, you're all on the same map, at least in the game world. So, okay.
So yes, that's to answer your question there, Mr. Kennedy.
Very good. Cognan, do you have a map of this area?
What do you mean? Of what area? I have the map. I have the map before you. Any more detailed map than
Okay,
this?
this is out on the table. This is what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
this is
Okay,
that
fine.
like that. This is the map.
Yeah, I have no other. I have no other maps of the region.
Good. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's out on the table. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, we have these missiles to go. Now, if we were to head down to, let's see, we were most recently at the Iron Outpost. What's going to be easiest for us to get to next?
Easiest is a relative term.
It is.
I mean, none of us outside of Whisper having scouted out maybe a little bit past the forested area you see around Oldor's Tower here on the map in the Ironwood. Nowhere is safe. I mean, the one you get to the quickest would probably be Deadwatch.
Deadwatch.
But Three Bridge is the last time anybody tried to go across there. People were basically thrown off the. You have to understand, Three Bridge has not been maintained in a very long time. The two small islands that exist now are very treacherous to cross, and they are controlled by harpies.
Harpies.
Yeah, I remember this from last time.
Yes.
And so you'd have to get, and there's no, as far as I know, there's not a living soul that's south of Three Bridge. Really, everybody we know is here in harm's way.
And there's a reminder.
Anyone?
Harm's Way is where Oldor's Tower is, in case anybody had forgotten where we are.
So Deadwatch is probably the
Closest,
fastest
yeah.
place to get to, but both Deadwatch and Strongmont are south of Three Bridge.
Does anybody from town have any experience? You said nobody's been outside of the.
Basically, outside of the green
Trees.
forested area.
Yeah.
Nobody goes. Yeah, no one goes outside that because they know it's just straight up dangerous to go anywhere outside. To cross any of the bridges, basically.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
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 Because you all froze for about 5 minutes.
Oh.
Not much. I'm just
glad we're all
talking
back.
to.
Yeah, we're just
Well, there's-
basically. I mean, at the moment, we're
there's-
trying to just come up with a plan of what the party wants to do.
Well, there's 2 maps, and there's one of them called the Crescent Isle, and I'm just wondering if that would be useful for us.
That is the one
That's
I'm
what we're
referencing
talking
right
about
now.
right now.
Yes, that is the one I'm referencing. So Oldor's Tower on the map is where Harm's Way actually is, because it's an outdated map. That's where Harm's Way, like Oldor's Tower, is where you are physically located right now. Harm's Way was built around the tower. Yeah, like Iron Outpost is where you were before, is where the group was before. I know you missed that session, Bellarmine. And then, yeah, you've got Dead Watch in the bottom left corner, Strongmont in the bottom right corner, and then Winter Vein is the region that's north of the Rushlands, and you've got the, at least what should have been the town of Vineholm and the Man of Mine off to the northwest there. So yeah, as far as you know, Mythal's a
Okay.
Dead Watch. You believe Cognan strongly is convinced that based on the journal that there's one in Strongmont. Where the fourth one is north, don't know.
Good. Sorry. At this point, I'm looking at the map, and I'm going to turn to to my compatriots here and say, all right, what do we want to do? Do we want to take a hike and head up to the Man of Mine first, take the long way, or do we want to try to cross the Three Bridge and head down to Dead Watch?
I think Dead Watch is probably the best bet. I think the closer we stay to the Ironwood, the more likely we are to be under the effects of the missing Mythal. And I just feel like that's the way we should head.
Very well.
I don't know why, but it feels like that's the right direction.
Sounds like as much of a plan as I've got to come up with. So let's load up on on rations and move on out.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to send me a whisper, and do you want to whisper this to me?
No. While they are discussing, because again, I'm fairly intelligent, but totally unplugged from. He does his own thing.
Right.
I am using guidance to perform an insight and a nature check, so guidance twice.
Okay.
At advantage, basically to think, okay, do I have any way of knowing what the weather patterns will be like? Will I be able to see the cosmos at night so I can stay in touch and prepare myself for the next day as we're on the road and, get my spells back and basically like feel at home instead of before where we walked into that situation and I felt totally unprepared. You felt totally unprepared and realized that he had to up his game. So yeah, I'm doing those to see if there's any way I can, not to like counteract what Babbage Charles was just saying, but what makes the most sense for you?
So you're just trying to get you're really just trying to get your own internal sense of these things. You're not asking anybody this
Yes,
information.
but also like actually wanting to know like, oh, does it, is there any way to like read the seasons or like weather patterns and know like, are we going into an area that's going to be like pretty overcast most of the time, so it's going to be harder to know what harder, like basically riffing off the whole using the star map that I have to actually
Right.
consult the stars for which spells to prepare for the next day.
Let's see. Give me a second.
But to all my friends in Cognan, it looks like I'm just kind of standing there oafish like looking off into who?
Hold on a second. Where's... I thought I put it... Dang it. Sorry, give me a minute, I'm reading.
Okay.
I can hear you, Zach.
Heard?
No. Where did I put...
Got it.
I hear you.
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
Well, that's the first time I heard you was when you said doggone it.
No, I said, can anybody hear me about 5 times?
No,
Oh, sorry,
I didn't
it's
hear you
been-
until you said doggone it.
Yeah, it's been very on and off.
Oh, I probably should reboot the router and the modem, but that's going to kill everything.
Well,
If that's what you got to do, and then we understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
get her
Alright.
done.
Where's... Oh, there it is. So, okay. I thought I put it in the journal somewhere, but I can't seem to find it.
Wheeling of her?
Did the journal make any reference that any of you recall to what the weather or the atmosphere or anything is like down in the southern barrens? Or hold on. I've lost my map.
Weather? No, we haven't talked about any climate stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember that either specifically.
Or in the Southern Wild. All right, never mind. So what you sort of what you're sort of interpreting from your own reading of the stars and your general sense is that the weather on this island does not seem to adhere to the seasons as you know them. So like you haven't like you just know that something seems off about the being basically everywhere you've been in the Ironwood so far. So beyond that, there's not really much you can say confidently. Whether or not you'll have access to the stars, your confidence is not high on that aspect, if that makes sense.
So if this were wheel or woe, you'd be like both wheel and woe.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe more woe, really. Okay, Canadan, you were saying.
I was just saying that I was talking to that. I'm getting some feedback here. Sorry.
All kinds of technical difficulties this evening.
Yeah, seriously. All right, I can deal with it. So I was talking to my compatriots and said, okay, fine. So we'll head down to Deadwatch next. Let's stock up and head out. Does anybody have anything else we should do in town first?
I pretty much ran that well dry.
Very well. And at that point, I'll just take Cognan. Do you have any hints for us? Any final words of advice? We're heading south.
I very much appreciate your desire to solve the mythos, to sort of stop whatever it is this old lady's trying to do. I will do my best to dig into more research and see if I can't see if maybe something I've missed in the past, that now that I know the mythos are a possibility on the island that I had not considered before, I'll go digging into my notes and see if I can't give you any more information, or maybe find some way to help you detect or search for the one in the north.
Very well. Thank you.
Babbage, did you have anything you wanted to ask him?
Oh, yeah. While we're out and about, are you aware of any settlements or abandoned towns or hovels or anywhere where a scavenger of sorts might be able to encounter useful scrap material?
When you say useful scrap, could you be more specific?
You know, like all the stuff in the basement, but not broken.
Well, High Lake Village has been picked clean. That's the one other settlement outside of the Iron Outpost. The Iron Outpost probably may have materials. I don't know how much you had a chance while you were there. It sounds like you were, from what you were told, you were rather
pretty
involved.
Quick to get in and out.
Yes. I mean, you can see the settlements that existed on the island before. The only other place that we know that people are alive and functioning as a society of sorts is over in Jugtown. Whether or not they'd be willing to trade with you for things, I don't know. They seem to have some sort of arrangement with the Lycelots that own the woods in the middle of the Rushlands there. The dig has been closed off for a long period of time. That used to, I believe that there's some sort of arrangement, or at least whisper theorizes that there's some sort of arrangement between the Lycelots and the bandits out of Junktown for resources in the dig. I don't know.
Speaking of resources in the dig, aside from the dig, where on this island might I encounter any sort of precious metals, materials, gems, etc.?
He pauses for a second, and
hold that thought.
He gets up, goes upstairs. Unless you're all going to do something with River, while who's now basically she's not really paying attention to you all. Well, she
How
acknowledges you.
doing?
She says hi. Basically, provides pleasantries, but otherwise is focused on her stew. After about 3 minutes, Cognan comes back down with well, imagine like a journal that's got a whole bunch of like pieces of scrap like jammed into pages. Flips it open and then points at the map at that cave just across the northern bridge from. So if you look at east of Oldor's Tower, there's a cave there.
Above the R in Rushlands.
Yes.
There's some indications of that may have been an original mana mine before the bigger one to the north was tapped. But I believe that whether or not there's anything there now, I couldn't tell you. That's the only record I have is that may have been one of the first places that they tried to start mining, and it's gone now. So if there's one other place, you could potentially look at there.
All right. Well, I appreciate that information. I smell a side quest.
Hello?
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
You're moving much more smoothly in the video, and I spoke too soon.
Yeah, as you said that again. But you're here.
But yes, you're back,
You.
and we can see you. We can hear you. I don't know if you're in roll 20. I've got my map up, but
He is.
cool. All right, so yeah, that is the information.
So basically, Dad, to catch you up, we all went to Cognan's. We chit-chat about where we should go next. We kind of decided on going south over Three Bridge to the whatever that thing's called.
Dead Watch.
Dead Watch through the Southern Wild. We were warned to be cautious of harpies and that those bridges are not well maintained, so we could get flung off into the abyss. So we'll have to be careful. I also asked about where I could find precious metals materials, and Cognan mentioned that cave just north of the R in the word Rushlands on the map, he suspects at one point may have been the start of a mana mine before the big one to the north was developed, although no one's been in there a long time. But if there were anywhere on the island he's aware of where one could mine or scavenge for something more than scrap, that would be it. So I said, sounds like a side quest in the future, but I still think the plan is to head south.
Okay.
Check out the mine prior to heading south to gear up first.
Well, it's less about gearing up and more about just acquiring a stockpile of goods from which I can invent and tinker. I am very limited.
By gearing up to me.
Well, it would gear myself up. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Crystals.
I think if we can make meaningful progress against these mythos, that might be a good thing to do, and we can check the mine out upon our return. But if you're all up for a mining scavenging trip, I'm certainly not going to say no.
We must pursue those who wield great influence on this island.
So you
That's
vote
all it
Dead
is.
Watch. Sounds good. To Three Bridge.
2-3 bridge.
2-3 Bridge. 5 Bridge.
1-2-3 bridge. 4-3 bridge.
4-3 bridge. 4-3 Bridge. Interestingly, that joke reminds me. So while we're sitting around in Cognan's basement waiting, I pull out a little tinker's scribe, one with something you'd use to, like, etch in a bottle or whatever.
Okay.
And I inscribe a engraving into the Dingbot's front plate, and give him a little, like, name tag.
Which says
in all caps, P414:D1N.
Paladin? Really?
Yeah. Our party has a paladin now.
Okay. Very good. Paladin the Dingbot. Very good.
You can just call him Pal.
Pal.
Pal 9000 if you like.
Very good.
Do you all have enough provisions? I imagine it should take it would likely take you at least maybe 2, if not 3 days. I don't know how well the southern wilds are maintained if we're really going to make it to Dead Watching back. Enough provisions to make it there.
I
get
certainly
back.
do. I can't speak for the rest of my compatriots.
Mom, I don't know. I still have like 10 rations.
Okay.
I believe we're good to go.
I think we have our standard load of stuff, right?
I mean, yeah,
You have what's in your inventory.
yes. And I suppose you've all been running around so much you really haven't needed to use a ration at any point. You've been just moving really quickly, really. So, okay. All right. So you're all heading out of town.
My pack is full of these.
Nice. Very good.
I think I'm ready to go. I can't speak for my friends.
I am all set.
You,
Let us make haste.
Bellarmine the Great. Was there
I
anything
don't know
else?
where I am on the map.
I mean, at this point, we're just in harm's way. So my question is there anything
I
else
see.
you want to do before you leave town?
I don't think so at this point. I think we just should move forward and see what we encounter.
All right. I'm going to
Hey, this
ignore.
version of my Dingbot token, just so you know, I can't control.
Oh.
Not
Okay.
that I think it matters. I think it's, when you get
Yeah, when we get to where we're going, I'm gonna have to. I had preset all these things, not knowing you were gonna get a dingbot. So allow me to copy this one dingbot, put it in my master place, and start copying him everywhere. Okay. All right. So you all head out of town. So I haven't really updated a lot of these, but oh, that's right. This fight happened with only 2 of you way back when. So yeah, you move through the southern gate. It is in fact Quail and Dimitri that are on watch this particular instance.
and we learned that they didn't used to look like that, right? They were turned into these things.
Dimitri and Tiberius. Yes, I'm sorry. Tiberius is the one on watch.
What's the purple square?
It's leftovers from when we cast some spell in a combat on this map.
Yes, I have not, and I can't even. There we go. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah. No, you did learn that Tiberius and Dimitri were both twin halflings. And but yeah, no, one's a dragonborn and one's a tiefling now.
Neat.
As we cross the bridge, are they still there?
Oh yeah,
Or-
so
they're-
Tiberius.
Okay.
So Quail just sort of waves. Quail waves, doesn't really interact much outside of just saying like, "Happy to provide you with potions. I take it you're off to somewhere interesting."
Did anyone
What
ask?
could be more interesting than death-defying leaps of acrobatics and dangerous harpies?
Did anyone ask the townsfolk if anybody wanted to accompany us?
Exactly what I was going to ask them. That's a great thought there, Bellarmine. I think we should ask these 2 right here. Hey, you 2. We're heading over to Dead Watch. You coming with? Could use the manpower.
Bro, that's like really far and super dangerous and stuff. So, nah, man, I'm not. That's not a thing I'm willing to do. Nah. And then the Quail. No, I prefer the theatrics to others. Enjoy. Besides, we are the ones currently tasked with making sure no other bandits move through the gate. We would be absconding. That's not the right word. We would be ignoring our duties if we were to leave, so no thank you. Best of luck to you. Did you leave anything back in the lodge you'd want us to take care of in the event you don't come back?
Pull it back.
We
Conf-
will.
Confident one? Well, don't
Yeah,
forget, if
definitely
you
do
find
that.
any of those mana crystals, happy to use them for potions. Very well. And they open the gate, allowing you all to leave. Best of luck,
Marching
bros.
south.
Okay. Let's make sure okay. Let's see. So from there, hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. My orders are all kind of. So yeah. So from you leave town, as you recall, you come across the amphitheater that you basically like move along the side of the road. Um, Nothing's really changed about this place. You eventually make it to the forest fork, as you all recall having done, and then you get, let's see, trails you've been on to before, because you all went south of the town once, as you recall, to go after that bandit camp.
Yes.
The old logging hut to the south.
Yes.
That doesn't have any access to it. Doesn't. I mean, does seem to be some lumber around if you wanted to pick up like another couple of 2x4s there, Babbage.
I do.
We'll say that's a good half gold of materials you pick up there for your purposes.
Half gold, man. The Tinker doesn't operate in half gold.
I know you need 5 gold increments, which is why I gave
Yeah.
you one 5 gold thing. But
Which is fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm keeping track of that half gold.
I know you are. You get to the southern split, and this is where you basically have not gone further before. So because you went into the path off of here, you haven't been south or west of or east of here really, because the sign. I think I actually have this signpost somewhere.
We take one more step. This is the furthest from harm's way we'll have ever
Signpost 2.
been.
Do you ever see? Did you ever see the Lord of the Rings butt every time Sam takes a step further away from? Every time he takes a step in the movie, they replay it from that. They replay that clip where he says, "This is the furthest."
God.
So the movie's like 4 hours long or something. Yeah. Every time Sam takes a step, they play that clip.
Gracious. Okay. All right. So now you're moving. Hold on. So many maps. Right. Okay. So now you are. So from here you are moving. So the signpost, which I don't think I actually have that.
Yeah. Signpost 2. A road sign leans precariously to one side, reading north, Uldor's Tower by appointment only, harm's way, scratched out, and then south, wilderness.
Oh, I thought that was the one. That was the one that was actually at the split earlier.
Oh. Well, never mind.
Yeah, that's a different one. So I don't think I actually had a poster for this one. But it basically just says to the southern east to the southern Rushlands, south to Three Bridge.
Got it.
I assume you're all continuing south.
South to... Wait, east to the southern Rushlands?
Yes.
Oh, Rushlands. Yeah, okay. Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
Not the Southern Wilds.
Mike,
Correct.
I wonder if we can retcon this.
Okay.
I would like to ritually cast the Find Familiar spell to summon my Fey Owl.
Oh, yes, you can do that.
That's something I need to get in the habit of doing like every day.
Stand by. Oh, that's gonna be like a daily ritual thing for you. It
Yeah.
doesn't just stay alive. Okay.
I'm happy to manage it and then like actually because I don't want it to be assumed that it's gonna be
Find
there.
Familiar
But
doesn't have a duration, right? So as long as you don't dismiss it, it should stay indefinitely.
That's
I'm
my
looking at the spell
understanding,
description. It says it's an instantaneous duration, but there's no time limit given. So
yeah. Well, it's like the cast
Well,
time
double-
is what, like an hour or something.
yeah.
So yeah, you just cast it every morning. But I think the duration shouldn't. Yeah, you just keep it forever.
So then basically, as long as I cast it once and it doesn't die or I don't dismiss it, then it's there, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what I need you to do is find a picture of an owl you want and throw it in Discord, in the send it to me in the Merwin the DM Discord, and then I will tack it on. I'll give you a token. We'll make a thing, and then you'll have your own pet to carry around.
Oops.
To manage.
Didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
It's all good. Okay. We'll manage the owl later. My data map. Where were you all? Ah, okay. So, yeah, you're on unfamiliar territory now. As you all move south. There is in fact Paladin running around with you as well, and I'll eventually get an owl token that's running around with the group. But yeah, you're basically just moving along south of the roads at this point, and this is, like I said, unfamiliar territory. So it's taken you about a couple hours to do all this walking south at this point. So you're getting to about the point where it's a little bit before, because you left around midday. So it's now getting to the point where you are, and the weather's still nice. The weather's a balmy like 70 degrees. It's mostly clear out, light winds. But as you get, I mean, everybody's moving south, I assume, still.
Yep.
Nothing happens of interest here, and then finally, where's? Oh no, those are all my Rushland maps. And then we get to, as you're approaching, as you just start to see the sun, basically approaching dusk, you make it to here.
Ooh.
I'm glad you grabbed those 2x4s.
That's fair. That's fair.
Johnson.
Welcome to Three Bridge. And you are all in control of your own tokens at this point. Oh wait, you have
Out forward.
Jeff. Do you have woe or I don't know which one you've got going right now.
I guess I would need to roll it again, right?
Yeah, it's a new day.
And what is it again? A two is a woe.
It's like
one is a
even. I think odd is. I'd have to look at it. Like it's like even and odd. You just roll whatever dice you want.
That's under Cosmic Omen.
Should be. Oh no.
Wheel is even.
There you go.
2 is even.
So, let's see. I do have some manner of lumber.
Why?
But I think it's mostly like smaller pieces. Like, how long are these 2x4s?
15 feet.
Oh, we need to roll for portent if anyone else has.
No, we haven't had them. We haven't woken up after having the weapons.
Why?
Yep, I had that thought.
Hold on.
At the shortest distance, surface to surface, it looks like 17 feet.
Any trees that we can cut?
Probably trees north of us. We did just pass a lumber mill.
Yeah.
How far is the lumber mill to Three Bridge?
About an hour's walk.
I mean, I think the easiest solution here is to take our time. We're not in any hurry. Let's utilize the trees in the lumber mill and ferry some lumber down here and repair this bridge.
There's no need to kill more living trees if there's dead trees at the mill.
Also true.
Yeah.
Very well.
Let's take our
That
time
seems
and do
reasonable.
this correctly rather than trying to, jump and slip and die. Like, let's just build a bridge. I've got the know-how.
All right. So it is. So let's see. It was beginning of basically dusk by the time you get down there. So by the time you get back to the lumber mill, you're basically at twilight.
Okay. Well, if we need to gather materials at the lumber mill, then rest for the evening, and then build a bridge in the morning, I think that could be a valid use of our time.
Mike, at
That
this
sounds
point,
reasonable.
you said it's dusk now that we're back here?
Yes.
Dusk, dark out? Okay, so even though I don't have the token yet, I'm going to telepathically communicate with my spirit owl
Got it.
to every, a couple times a minute, always make sure he flies back within range of me so that he can say, hey, if he sees something, he can report it quickly.
So you basically just want him on patrol, essentially.
Can I say that? Is that
Yeah.
like basically putting a drone with night vision goggles on patrol?
I like it. So
Yay,
okay.
druid.
So
Jim.
what actually? So out of curiosity, where is Sorry, where is this owl normally? Is it just flying overhead, or do you have it like ever rest on your shoulder?
Oh yeah, no, flying overhead. He's a wild spirit that chooses to help me out. He's not my pet.
Okay.
So it's like we're allies, but I would almost never have him just chilling around. I mean, and it's spectral owl, so it's not like he needs to eat. Or like,
Okay.
right?
So, all right. So for the purposes of the group dynamic, I'm curious. Did you ever share with anybody that you have an owl that you are in communication with, or is this something that you kept to himself?
Excuse me.
So technically, I've had this ability the whole time, but I
Sure.
wasn't aware of it.
I mean, if you didn't feel the need to use it, that's fine.
So, yeah, okay. I guess when we settle down, I assume make camp here for tonight.
Okay, so you haven't told them yet. That's what I wanted to know. As
Nope.
you're basically getting into camp, Babbage, you're keeping Paladin on your shoulder. Is that accurate?
Oh, and Mike, the
For
owl
the
has
moment.
120 feet of dark vision.
Got it. Say again.
I said for the moment.
Okay, so as you're getting into camp, Paladin is like, I don't know if he's on your shoulder. He's like nudging, like literally like grabbing your ear and like tugging it,
Ow, 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 ow. What?
and
What?
like
What?
and pointing at an owl that's flying up overhead.
Oh.
That Bellarmine, are you around?
I am.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Right. Okay. No, just with the video. I wasn't
As an
sure.
amateur ornithologist, I don't recognize that species of owl.
Yeah, and Bellarmine, you probably would have noticed the owl was persistently around, but by this point, on your own, whether you choose to share this information is up to you. But you sort of notice that there's been a persistent owl overhead now. So yeah,
Yeah.
Paladin's pointing at it at this point.
Notice the owl from the moment it was created, and it's been kind of connected to you.
Yeah, you probably would have noticed in hindsight, but so yeah. So now at this point, Babbage, Paladin's just like,
I see it. I'm taken aback. I've never seen an owl with such coloring.
oh yeah, do you want to describe it, you?
So, the words themselves are a fey creature, but in this sense, think of a a big. I don't want to say necessarily a normal-sized owl that appears spectral, so faint, bluish, translucent, but it also has some horns on the top of its head. Not giant horns, but like a miniature version, smaller proportionately than horns on like a young buck.
All right, so
It's like
not the owl.
it's like ram horns. What kind of horn? Like ram horns? Second?
Yeah, ram horn. I was thinking first more like the, like a deer
Antlers.
horn, antlers.
Okay. Wait, so
kind of like ram horns. Ram horns is kind of neat.
ram horns? Okay. So yeah, there's a horn. There's a spectral owl flying overhead that's got ram horns on it.
That's also very hard to see now that it's dusk.
True, but the sort of that but it almost seems like it's almost like a black light glow a little bit. So
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, you notice Paladin's. I mean, you notice that Babbage and Paladin are sort of
Man.
noticing it.
If you can conceive it, it exists on the internet already.
Did you find a picture?
I found a picture
No
of an
way.
owl with ram horns.
It's also kind of a corgi as well.
It's called an algae ram.
Wow. I don't.
Draw anything.
Do you
Why
want
does
that to
this
be your
exist?
token?
Yes.
Okay. It is a flying, translucent corgi owl ram. Good gracious.
Man, I love the internet.
Every time it zooms past, I just kind of like, ugh, that thing is unnerving. Not natural. It's not right.
So
First,
I
I
hear.
just searched for Fey Owl and I saw these results. Anyway,
So okay, so the paladin is on Babbage Charles' shoulder.
currently.
Okay, then I'm going to tell the owl to come in kind of quick, but then slow down, almost like it was, and to delicately land on the other shoulder.
On my shoulder?
Yeah. But like when it comes in like you can see it coming, and then as it gets close, if like it's not dive bombing you, it's
Hello? You are quite a specimen. I am the Beast Master. Well, this is an interesting turn of events.
I
Anyway.
see. Gee, I did it again. Take that back, retcon. You seem to have met new friend.
I have. This is your friend, you?
You has this friend.
Yes, I do. Yes, you and I both do, I suppose. Well, that's interesting.
And then with that, the owl will take up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was the
You-
thing that happened.
You can see much of what happens after the sun goes to sleep. And then as I say that, I'll use an action to see through the owl vision. So you see, like in Game of Thrones, where
Yeah.
the warg, his eyes go white and everything.
Sure. Cool. That's neat.
Nifty.
Good, yes. You have your creature there. Keep an eye on the
So-
far distance.
I'm gonna pull out.
You is 5 steps ahead of you.
I'm gonna pull out some paper and start jotting down some notes and doing some sketches and draft up some plans to basically create narrow makeshift bridge repairs. Essentially a more engineered version of just a plank across the span.
Okay.
That has better anchoring, a little wider, more structural support.
It's a double point.
Nothing.
Yeah. And then after I draft those plans up, I will assess the gold value worth of lumber required to build them. Also understanding that it's more than that one span that we'll likely have to cross, so I'll gather enough materials to build 2 more of them as needed.
Okay.
You can move them.
Yeah. I'm not going to engineer them such that they're permanent fixtures, but something that one could lay down, cross, and then retrieve and move.
Ah, okay.
And I'm looking around to see if the retainers and the horses arrived yet.
I've used bridges like this before, I say.
Yes.
You were
Might I
Well,
help with the design?
As you can see from this point here, it uses your own weight to flex the bridge downward, thus expanding its length in either direction, creating pressure on either end, which wedges it in place such that it doesn't rattle or move. It's an interesting design. In any sense, I'd love to know what the god of this island tells me is the total value, so that I can determine how long it'll take me to do this.
Okay, so you want it to be roughly how long? It's 20 feet long?
Well, the only span that we saw, the shortest distance was 17 feet,
Okay.
but that's also likely the least structurally sound portion of the broken bridge.
Right.
So I think it would make more sense to make it cross a solid 20, so that either end is on a more sturdy end. And I think making 2 of them, since we can move them, is probably the best bet. I think 3 is overkill.
Okay. Is there railings on these things?
They won't have railings per se, but they will have lips, so that if they were wet and your foot slid, it would hit against a wedge, like a ledge.
Like a, I don't know, like 6-inch high ledge or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But they'll be wide enough that you're not walking a tightrope. They'll, I think a 2.5 to 3 foot wide bridge would be enough that you're not off balance crossing it.
Okay.
I draw on one of your papers. I draw what I showed you there in Discord chat. I said I've carried these before in battle. These will cross any.
Oh,
any
these
gaps
even
that we
have
need.
railings. Well, this is an interesting design.
Oh, look at that.
They're meant to be carried, placed on the ground, and pushed across the gap until it reaches the other side. Men cross,
Oh.
then pull it across.
This is a marvelous design.
This is actually from the as a little bit of side talk from who my character is based off of. He actually did carry these bridges in the book.
Okay.
And I was thinking about a Cub Scout crossover bridge.
Yeah. No, I think Babbage is impressed with Kanadin's technical prowess, and incorporates the design element into what we're trying to build here. So I'm going to build exactly these 2 20-foot long knees.
Okay. All right. And they're how wide?
According to the diagram,
It could be scaled.
I mean, yeah,
Scaled
you
to
be
could.
size.
scaled, but this one in particular is not going to be 5 abreast. I think that's absurd. It'll just be 1 abreast, so we'll call it 3 foot wide,
Okay.
Zach, this is pretty awesome.
single file.
It was seriously my favorite book series, so you guys should check it out.
60 square.
So 3 by 20, made in that design.
Okay. 60 by. If we say 1. I gotta write down my math so I'm actually consistent later.
Yeah, it's 60 square feet.
Right, 60 square feet of wood. Let's say values of things. This is where somebody who's good at the Price is Right would be helpful. Or at least to spend a hell of a lot of time in a Home Depot.
Yeah, just Google lumber and call $1 a silver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Square. That's not what I want.
2x4 by 96 is $3.22. 96 inches is 8 feet.
8 feet. I just gotta go use the tinkler. I'm here. I'm still.
Okay.
8 foot 2x4 is what, 3 inches wide? Or 3 1/4? It's like really 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 after it's milled.
Yeah.
So 3 feet divided by 3 1/4. I'm gonna do this correctly.
All right. Well, you've got
3
it all.
feet. 36 divided by 3.25 equals. No, that was 363 divided by 2. 36 divided by 3.25 equals. No, 3.2. Why is my calculator not listening? 36
11.
divided by
11.
3.25 is roughly 11. So it's 11 2x4s wide by 8 inches. So 11 times 322. 3.22 times 11. So it's $35 per 8 foot length if we're trying to go 60 feet long. Divided by 8, 7.5 times 35. Roughly $262 worth of 2x4s.
Okay, so each one is okay. Well, so we'll round that to each one is a quarter of a gold, essentially.
What?
250 silver being. Wait, am I doing that conversion wrong?
262 silver is like 26 gold.
26 gold. Okay. Yeah, that's. Do you have that much?
No, but we're at a lumber mill. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's
You're right.
wood
Good
all
point.
around us.
Yes,
I just
you
need
can
to,
acquire
we
that
have
much.
we have all the lumber. I need to know how long it takes me to craft it because I
Got
have
it.
a grafting rate of hours per gold.
There you go.
And
26
in all
26
actuality,
gold.
if we're calling it 26 gold, then me and the dingbot can craft at a rate of 100 GP per hour. So this will take us 15 minutes to build.
Nice. All right. So like before twilight's even done. I mean, I'll say. Well, all right. You doing this now, or are you doing this in the morning?
No, I thought we would gather the materials, build now, and if it got dark, then we could camp here and wrap up. But if it's only going to take that short span, I mean, it'll take more time to actually mill the lumber.
Yeah, that's more the process. It's just
Sure.
I mean, by the time you've collected all the materials that you realize you need to be able to build this design that Canadians provided for you, it's dark.
Sure. All right. So yeah, let's. We're not going to travel through the woods in the dark, I would say.
Okay.
Let's use the safety of the lumber mill to make camp for the evening, and in the morning, I'll spend 15 minutes, rip it up, and then we'll head back to the bridge.
Okay. Where's my? All right. So let's. Okay. So you're all making camp. Yes.
That's my proposal, anyway.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree.
All right. How do you intend to do this? Please place yourselves where you intend to be and all that
So-
fun stuff.
Everybody should stay within 30 feet of me, and we will not be ambushed at night.
I think we should just be in the lumber mill. Like,
That makes
just
sense,
be here.
for sure. With anyone within 30 feet of me will be woken by my spear of warning.
Neat.
We'd be attacked.
Mike, I don't know if I have permission to move that token.
Oh, I thought I gave it. Oh, hold on a second. You should, but I gotta remember how to do that. How do I give somebody else control of a token?
You assign the token's value to the character, and then in the character you give it.
Oh, it's in the character. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say who can control that character.
Uh,
So if Owl is a character, then you have to give Jeff ownership of it.
Right. Edit. There we go. All right. Can you move it now?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. So is everybody sleeping then?
Yeah, I think that's the best bet.
Cool.
I'll break out one of my rations so I can eat for the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we have an elf and a warning thing, I don't think we need a watch.
I don't think so either.
So we can all
I
get
do
a
my-
good night's rest.
I do my trance facing the door.
If
In fact, I'm just gonna craft. I'm gonna build the bridge. Me and the Dingbot, we're gonna build it tonight before we
Okay.
because it's only gonna take 15 minutes.
Fair enough. Where are you putting it?
I'm gonna lay it across the top of this lumber pile.
Yeah, draw a rectangle for me as to where you're putting these things.
There's one, and then the other one's right next to it.
You only need one.
He wants
can
to
be-
build. He wants to build two.
Okay. Very well.
Yeah, that way, if for whatever reason we need to have two of them laid down at once.
Or
Okay. We're gonna do. Okay. About so. So everybody kind of rests, lays down. You're all munching on your rations. Is anybody doing anything in particular? Is there anything else happening on before dawn occurs? Or I mean, not about dawn. Sorry, like before you're all going to bed. I mean, so Babbage and Paladin are creating the bridges. Is anybody else doing anything else before they go to bed? You got
Just
the
playing.
owl on patrol. I got that.
eat a ration and consult the stars. I just need to pick.
I guess
Okay.
does a Fey owl need to sleep? That's an interesting question.
If necessary, I'll have him do it more during the day. It's mostly at night when he's most welcome.
As an owl, I would expect it to be a nocturnal creature.
Yeah, that would make the most sense. Okay.
So then maybe during the day it makes sense for him to be on my shoulder.
Possibly
Just
sleeping.
lives
If
in
you
your
say he
beard.
needs to sleep.
You have a little nest inside your beard that he lives in.
Like Peter Griffin.
Okay. About.
Oh, Mike, I'm
yes.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I know what I want to do. Before I go to bed, I want to cast that. Not just for the bridge, but in the overarching sense of trying to get some kind of insight from the primal energies of the world that direct Mother Nature.
Your magic and
rock
offering
chaos.
put you in contact with a god or god's servants. You ask a single question. All right. Ask your question.
What are you sacrificing?
Hold on, I want to make sure I get the name.
Oh yeah, the components involve a sacrifice worth 25 gold pieces.
Normally we ignore components, but that seems kind of.
Well, whenever there's a, I mean,
Spell.
so the idea behind it is, like your spell pouch or your spell focus cover down on all of the material components, unless there is a gold value, in which case you
Yeah.
actually need to specifically state that you're using up something.
Oh,
Now,
interesting.
you're in the woods, so I'm gonna argue that you could probably find like an offering of, I don't know, herbs, mushrooms, something, or I don't know. If you-
25 gold worth of mushrooms? That's a lot of mushrooms.
I suppose that's a
Black
good point.
truffle.
Yeah, that's kind of a. It's an interesting call. Well, no, I think
I'm
because
happy to-
your star
I'm
map, I
happy
think
to roll
actually
a
allows you to
couple
do
like
that too.
nature checks or something if you want to. But I think Jim brings up a good point. That is a lot of mushrooms.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about lumber? Since we already know what that costs, is there 25 gold worth of lumber lying around? And it's
I mean, one of his bridges is. No, we figured that was 25 silver. No, 25 gold worth of lumber would probably be all the
No,
lumber in the space.
we figured it was 25 gold. It was 260 silver.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, there's 25 gold of lumber lying around.
Don't burn my bridge.
I suppose I would have to. It's not already built, is it? So,
Yeah, I just built them.
oh, it is built.
Yeah,
I'm
it only
sorry, I
took
thought
him
you said
15
you were
minutes to build
smooth.
them, so he built them before he went to bed. That's why he's got them on the map, is because they're physically there now.
Okay, so 25 gold of lumber that's not already assembled in
Yes.
the gnome's contraption.
Yeah, I'll
And-
say you can find that for the purposes of this.
Okay,
So-
no, thank you. I did not realize that was a constraint, and I'm glad to know that now because that means I'm gonna not. Obviously, yeah. Okay.
So now you need to be very careful in how you're asking your question.
Yeah, this is like a genie moment.
I mean, it's not that bad, but yes.
Do I know which god I'm reaching out to?
Your own nature
See, that's the thing
deity.
is, druids don't have a god. They just.
I mean, you can
they
just be
happen-
you can make it through nature. That's acceptable.
Okay. In order to help preserve the natural state of this land, should we continue to head to Deadwatch first? Because that's really what I care about. Is there's a lot of unnatural stuff
Nope.
going on here.
Your question's made. I've got to come up with a response.
I hope it's a cryptic rhyme.
That is right. Like, can I pull down? Can I
Come
pull out?
on, Mike.
I'm gonna pull out a rap here in a quick second, and Mother Nature's gonna come back with.
Freestyle.
Druid word, is this the best course of action? The best course of action. Is
I got the words you used. You don't have to explain. Yeah, you have to give me a second. If it's natural you're looking for, there's very little near. What you walk into involves much fear. But the course you are taking is in fact clear.
Well, that was well done, by the way.
Cryptic!
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what it could mean? It could mean anything. It could be a boat.
Well, you thinks your plan's good. You thinks that you and all should continue this way. Nature seems to have forsaken this place, but you believes this might be the best way to restore the natural balance.
All right, Dan. Glad you told me that after I built these.
Sorry, I forgot that I have a lot more spells at my disposal.
No, that's fine. That was fun.
And
Okay, cool. All right. So about an hour after you all fall asleep, grab.
Oh, and if the owl and I have telepathy and it knows it has to get within 100 feet of me to actually talk like that, if I'm asleep, does telepathy wake me up?
But the owl can certainly screech.
I'm gonna say the owl knows how to get wake you up. Yes, which is convenient because you are awoken by the sound of a screech in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How well can I communicate with you? I'd have to look that up.
It's just in the Find Familiar spell.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
If it's within 100 feet of him, he can communicate with it telepathically. That's all it says.
The last two sentences.
Okay. Basically, it's communicating danger in the form of flying things.
Flying things, huh?
Yeah. So if you wake up, I'm assuming
Okay.
you get up from this.
Got it. So as soon as that happens, before I even wake up, because I assume we're all right.
Yeah, you're all next to each other.
Have we seen it before?
Yes.
That
At
happens.
least I think you have.
It looks familiar.
Pass without trace. A veil of shadow and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection for the duration. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a plus 10 bonus on dexterity. Wow.
Right.
Nicely done, Jeff.
I saw that and I have that specifically prepared for me all the time.
Okay. Give me a
And then after
moment.
casting the spell, I'm then going to quickly but still covertly. And then as soon as my companions wake up, they see me doing this. And
I look up at the ceiling.
So you wake everybody up, but you cast Pass Without Trace. Is that accurate?
yeah, pass without trace, then wake up. And then as they're waking up, Yu's friend has seen winged beasts coming close. Yu has used the grace of the foreshadows that make it difficult for them to see us, but we must be quiet and move about with care.
I tuck Paladin in a comfortable spot in the haversack. Hopefully such that he's not floating in the ethereal plane uncomfortably.
All right. I want everybody to make it a stealth check at advantage.
And then I will do what you just said.
Take a ready stance with my spear.
17,
So that's a
27,
27 and a 22.
Where is it?
It's a skill, like where acrobatics and all that stuff is. Stealth, you're going to click on. And if you have advantage, yeah, perfect.
Doesn't he get a plus 10 to that?
We all should get a plus.
You all get a plus 10 to that. Okay.
Juicy.
Bellarmine, you basically the moment you're awoken, you realize that there's essentially like a flock of bats flying overhead, but thanks to some quick movement by the druid, they move on and don't stop to do anything with you.
Oh, Jeff, you're the best.
Well done.
If you
So
don't have
actually,
if you don't have inspiration, you have it now. That was well done.
See, not every
No, you don't have nothing.
conflict has to be solved with violence, people.
No, that was well done. I'm very impressed with that.
That was some Bruce Lee redirects.
Yeah, no, that was. I mean, I had them all roll. Well, I did a bunch of perception checks, basically seeing if like they happen to come across you. But with the stealth bonuses and everybody rolling, like they did not notice you and kept going. So well done.
Awesome. Nicely done, man.
Devil's advocate, did
yes.
they notice the Fey Owl?
Yeah, but they ignored it and kept going.
All right,
Because I think bats would be running away from a fey owl anyway.
that's very possible.
I mean, like owls hunt bats, don't they? Like that's.
Oh, no
Oh.
problem.
Yeah. So like, if anything, they'd be like, that'd even be more advantage of them just wanting to keep moving. So.
The bats would avoid them though because they can fly very fast and they've got the sonar. But you know.
All right. Well done.
Oh yeah, how does a stealth advantage affect a creature that sees with sonar?
Well, you're all under a cover, and
Fair.
we have
So
magic.
it was
there's
you that
there's
got us
magic.
with the
There's magic involved
perfect
here.
sound
Yeah, also
shield.
magic. That
Yes.
makes sense.
Also magic.
Fair.
All right. The rest of the
Cool.
night. The rest of the night, like, so you're woken. Like all of you are sort of woken. The druid does some magics. Bellarmine notices the flock of bats that goes overhead, and as does you. The other two of you, I don't think he would have even known what happened.
Just that he said winged things are coming.
Oh yeah. It was
As
bats,
As soon
but
as he woke
And they
me, I
never
would have
showed
just
up.
grabbed my spear, but that's it.
yeah, no, they fly past and the danger is clear. So.
Cool.
Pack of wild bats just flew overhead, but they did not see us.
Well, I mean, we're inside, so that makes sense to me. Good night.
And the rest of the night goes by
I hope your
uneventfully.
bridge shuts.
Yeah. So the rest of the night goes by uneventfully, and morning arrives.
What is the equation for jump distance? Is it half your run speed?
There's a.
running start.
Hold on. I actually have a bookmark for specifically this, if I can find it. There's like a website you can look up that literally is like jump distances, and you like plug in all the numbers. Where are my?
Oh yeah, I gave you that, didn't I?
Either you gave it to me or I found it. Let's see. Tokens. Nope. Parchment scroll. Script. No.
It's flexlabs.com/5e-jump.
There you go. Just throw that in Discord for Jeff's sake. Yeah, or for all our sakes, I guess. Oh dang it! I'm doing bad with the stream again.
Jim, I sent you an email.
An email.
So yeah, it's based on your strength score. But there's also a bunch
Oh.
of checks on the right for different things, like if you have an athlete feat, if you're using the jump spell, that sort of thing.
What am I looking at, Dad?
That's the ghost step tattoo.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
That's,
cool.
That's dope.
Throw that in.
You can put it in Discord if the guys want to see it.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
I'm going to.
Yeah. So. Okay. Oh wow. That's swanky. I like it.
That's dope.
Okay. I'll add that to Roll20 later. So it's morning.
Yes.
Well, let's
Wake
get this bridge in place.
Yeah, I wake up, I reach over, I put on my pack, I grab my light crossbow, I feel a weird sensation, and these two numbers pop in my head.
Yes, portent.
And
Which
then,
Babbage isn't the only one that has that.
I have it too.
Yeah, so you get to roll 2d20s, and then you have to record them for posterity.
I extract a sleeping pal from my bag and put him on my shoulder. And, alright, gents.
And I asked Babbage, do you bring any wheels with you?
Oh no, they're light enough the two of us could carry each. They're designed to be carried. That's how I built them. And I show the schematic that Kanan helped me draw up to explain how they're carried, and suggest that the two tallest people grab one and the two shortest people grab the other.
Don't know about my height, but I'm happy to grab one.
You and I would grab one.
Yep.
Yeah, how old? It's got to be a little lopsided with Bellarmine and Babbage, but here we are.
Here's what it is.
Paladin does seem surprisingly chipper. Like, is literally like doing like twirls on your shoulder to just be happy and like.
I thought he'd be riding in the middle of the bridge.
It does in fact jump off of his shoulder and start walking around on the bridge as people are carrying it.
All right, be careful now.
It's like doing a little dance. The sense that you get is that it's proud of the fact that like it made this thing, and it's
Yeah, we
like,
built the thing. We are so great.
it's like as the two of you were carrying it, it's like pointing at it, pointing at itself, pointing at Babbage, pointing like.
We should name the bridges, Bridge of Death or something,
Okay, so
All right, this skinny one's called Terra, and this fatter one's called Bithia.
There you go.
Well done.
Onward.
All right, okay, so all right, so yeah, so I'm assuming you all. I mean, you eat. I'm assuming everybody eats, takes care of business. We never talk about going to the bathroom, but everybody uses the.
I will
Uses the
We
appreciate
enjoy the
plumbing.
plumbing.
Yes, you enjoy nature's plumbing. You walk the hour with your bridges intact, and you have you are now here at the bridge. You can feel free to redraw your rectangles as necessary. Why is Roll20 being weird? Oh, because its token's moving. That doesn't need to be there anymore.
We probably should inspect the structures that we're putting this on.
Indeed. I intend to do just that. Didn't mean to use that tool. Let me get rid of that there. Sorry about that. So I will step forward as the lightest of the bunch and the most savvy with engineering
Okay.
to the first sign of crumble.
Which would be right here. Yep.
I will then pull out a 2x4 from my backpack.
Okay.
And use it as a rod to poke at the ground and see if any of it gives way.
Not where you're poking it. No.
Okay. I will move to here and do the same.
Okay. This all seems pretty. I assume you're poking at all three of these blocks.
Whatever 5 spaces around me that I can reach.
So far so good.
Okay. I will move to here and poke around.
I mean, this starts to crumble. The stuff along the edge here.
Okay, but is this still solid?
This is solid. Yeah.
All right. We'll move there. Is this solid?
It's the stuff along like halfway into this is starting to give way, but this appears to be this does seem to be surviving you poking it.
Okay. Put my weight here.
And poking around still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like halfway in the middle of this block. It doesn't seem to be safe, but otherwise, where you are there seems to be just fine. Oops, didn't mean to move.
Savage, hold there. And I slowly inch forward.
Okay.
And I toss him my rope. And one end of the rope. Tie this around yourself. Just, you're making me nervous out there. You, come support me.
Alrighty.
And I wrap the rope around myself, and I have you come up behind and grab the end of the rope as well.
I take an end of the rope, and I use the one-handed bowline knot to tie it around my waist.
Do you guys have contests, too? So you can do it the fastest?
Roll me a sleight of hand, but then use your intelligence instead of, what is it, dexterity? As a modifier? So just roll sleight of hand and then tell me the difference in the number, what it should be if you used intelligence instead of...
Alright, so it's sleight of hand plus 3.
Okay. And your proficiency modifier, because you're handy with everything with tools. Which...
Well, that's already in sleight of hand.
Oh, it is. Yep.
Sleight of hand.
Okay.
So it'd be a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you tie the pole in just fine. Okay. Continue on.
Yeah, so then I will proceed to here.
Meanwhile, I tie a rope around both of the bridges. We can drag them forward if we need them.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
I'd move to here.
So, like, at this point, it seems obvious that everything, basically, just to the left of you, you don't want to be out here. Like, this all looks...
Even over here?
Yes. Like, you need to be, like, where you're stepping, this seems... everything directly...
There's no support under this. This is just, like, crumbly, rubbly?
Correct.
Very good. Alright, so as long as we stay inside this line, would you say that would be safe?
Yes, that would be safe.
Okay. with that, I will relay that information and say, as long as y'all stay, on this side of, this 5-foot path, we should be fine. I will continue to move forward unless I feel that it is unsafe.
You can't go any further than that.
Okay. All right. Bring a bridge over to me here.
How do I
Bridge forward.
Pass it up along the edge here. Don't stay clear. And I kind of gesture. Stay clear of everything in that circle that I pointed at.
The hole.
Yeah.
Let me go down the hole.
Okay. Who's passing it forward?
So I'll be pushing it forward.
Yeah, I'm
So I
pushing
guess-
one.
Yeah, I guess then I'll be pulling it. Let me just get both here. Here we go.
Hey, Jim, from that jump calculator you linked, it looks like if you buffed your movement speed, that really wouldn't affect your ability to jump, right? Like your long jump.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
In all circumstances, you can't jump farther than your remaining movement, so that's important to know.
We don't want to drop it off the edge there, so. we've
Yeah,
gotta
so
hold
what I was going to
it.
suggest is, before we start hanging it over the edge, let's anchor the back of it so that if the far end touches something that's not strong and it crumbles forward, we're not losing it into the abyss.
And so we tie a rope on the back and we anchor it to one of these pylons.
Yeah, so explain the edge of the bridge. Is it like crenellations? Is it a flat rail?
I don't know what the word crenellations means.
I can't hear what you said.
I don't know what the word crenellations means.
Like in a castle, it goes like up over, up over.
Oh, no, it's flat.
Okay.
It's about, I don't know, it's about 2 feet high. I will say that there is a pylon there where Deacon is currently. Yeah, there's like there is something you could tie it to there.
Okay,
So I
gotcha.
tie a rope onto that and I tie it to the back of the bridge.
Okay.
Very good.
Zach, do you need to go right now?
I got 2
Yeah,
minutes.
it's 10:30.
Okay,
right.
you got enough time to solve this one.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
solve this. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right.
So I will have them push while I pivot and position it, and the goal is going to be to get it. Oh wow, I calculated that at 17 feet. I thought we all had perfect range finding.
I mean, that's roughly 17 feet, right?
I may have calculated from, because I used the Alt key to not snap. Yeah, so I calculated 17 feet, but that's like from literal end to end. I thought 20 would be enough for an overhang, which I guess it is.
So are you trying to set it down there?
I'm trying to position it there and see what happens on the other end.
As you put it down, the bridge starts to crumble underneath where you have put it.
Awesome. Well, looks like I didn't make these long enough. I'm terrible, and I am very sorry.
Well, let's take some. Can we take some
bring up-
pieces from the other one?
Yeah, drag this
I'll
back.
split it.
I
Can we
say bring
connect the
forward
two?
the second bridge, and I will attach the two of them together with the remaining carpentry materials that I have in my backpack.
Yay!
Yeah, that'll work.
Uh-huh.
It's a good thing you made
Perfect.
2.
I'm
All
a
right.
genius.
Redundancy.
Yay! All right.
Always have a backup plan. So, provided nothing goes wrong with that plan, I'm just going to recreate a new rectangle.
You're just making it twice. You're just making it twice as long.
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
it. Hang on.
This thing's gonna be wonky to manage.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go.
Okay, so
So
where
now-
are you sliding this thing now?
Now, since I've noticed that this is all crumbly wumbly,
Yep.
I'm sliding this to more like here.
Okay, this part was also crumbly, but once you get past this line, it seems solid right there.
Excellent. So this should be sufficient.
Yes.
Very good. All right, gentlemen. We have crossed the bridge, or at least bridged the gap.
So I suppose I should have described this ahead of time, but what you see on the other side of the bridge is a lot of fog and mist, and you can kind of see what looks like almost like sheer cliffs, somewhat peering out of the mountains. So you get a bit of it. It doesn't look like there's a lot of It looks very vertical, I guess, because what you're going to have to deal with next time is something that looks a lot like that.
Well, luckily, this design of these bridges can be turned vertically and work as a ladder. So I've got a 40-foot ladder.
So, with that, we'll break for the night because Zach's got to go. I
A
hope you all.
literal cliffhanger.
Yeah,
A
that's
literal.
I'm not that clever on purpose. So with that, we'll say goodbye to the internet. Thank you all. Hopefully,
Wait,
you
we
had a
see
good
all the
time.
harpies too?
Yeah, in hindsight, I should have made those hidden initially, but essentially, yeah, the moment I mean, I wanted to just show you the cliffside. I forgot I had all those harpies already there, but because you're gonna have to walk around a bit. But yeah, you're eventually gonna come across harpies that you can see, or at least hear, because it's all foggy and misty otherwise. So with that, yay cliffhanger, and good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
It's been fun.
Good night, all.